Revenge is a dish best served hot, but I think the heat has cooled off enough to know that it might be too late for some folks in the game. Welcome, y'all. We back with the DeAndre Way, and we are going through the Trust episode 6 today. It's going to be, an interesting episode, I'd say. And, we left off with Tolu and Winnie plotting and scheming in the corner, and they said that they gonna get that lick back. They gonna take care of business. Also, might I add before we start, y'all, if you want to join the Patreon, the link is in the bio. We got exclusives there. We're gonna have a lot of people from different shows pop up, give some words of wisdom, maybe some funny things, maybe some tea. We don't know, but hey, subscribe. We putting some good things out and definitely it will be worth your time. And it's only a measly $5 a month. Check it out. Support your boy so we can keep on making things better, improved, and keep dishing out that good stuff as well. As you can see, we add little extra features and we doing more better things each week to improve the game. And so, with that being said, we gonna hop right into it, y'all. The Trust, A Game of Greed, episode 6. We left off with, Tolu and Whitney plotting and scheming. We start off the episode, it's raining outside pretty hard, so no pool today. And we don't get to see, anyone's abs or bikinis. But yes, we see that Brian, Jesus, all these bees, compares the weather to the mood in the house, which is hurricanes, and it's Hurricane Tolu and Whitney going through the house right now. It's not looking good for the rest of the folks. Gasper notices that people are really playing cutthroats, and he's wondering if the guys should start playing that way as well. Now, to this point, the guys really haven't voted. They didn't vote Bryce out. They didn't vote Simone out, and they didn't vote Juel's out. And yeah, I mean, the guys really haven't placed any votes yet, so they've just been chilling in the corner. But hey, it might be time to strike. It might be time to strike, like Star Wars settings. Gasper says he didn't leave his family for a month just to not financially benefit. I heard you there, brother. We got to get that bag, or else what we doing here? The guys think Winnie is the puppet master and the one calling the shots, and she's Geppetto, and all the other girls are Pinocchios. And what she says goes. Jay and Tolu and Winnie are calling Julie immature. They think Julie, she's just tripping right now. She's head over heels with this guy she just met, and she thinks that they're gonna have a future. They think she's naive in this sense. And what are you doing? We're supposed to be a team. We talked about this. We've been doing this whole thing, and now you want to jump ship. But things happen in the game, and you guys did something. I don't, we see on screen, but maybe more than we're told that, or shown, should I say, that makes them not that bond not as strong. There's something definitely has been brewing for a while now. But you got to pivot with the prowess, and Julie's pivoting right now. She's pivoting hard. So we'll see if she finishes taking that jump shot. Julie's talking to Lindsay and saying it's either the girls' logic or fuck you. So, it's their way or the highway. And Julie's not down with that. Julie said she first wanted them as friends after the game's over, but now she doesn't know if she does. So it ain't hunky dory no more. We ain't playing Winnie the Pooh and friends and Teletubbies. It's getting down and dirty, and people's real motives and friendships are being tested and put to the forefront. I don't mind Julie thinking like this. I mean, definitely people can show you one thing from the start. Everyone's going to be nice to you and there's going to be good vibes, of course. But as time goes, that's when you really see the true colors of people. That's when you really see the monsters and the demons inside people come out. And some people's monsters and demons are worse than others and worse than you expected. And you got to make a conscious decision that it's time to go. I've had plenty of instances to where we was tight from the start, of course. And then I seen how people really moving around the room. And I'm like, I don't want to be in this room. So I got to get up out. I don't want to be in the room where it happens. Then it's going to happen to me, Hamilton style. So I don't blame her for altering her thought process about the situation. Now you made a pact, but things change. But you got to make sure if you're doing something, you're in an alliance, you nurture these relationships and you don't make some people feel some type of way. Then if you do, that's you're lacking self-awareness. Some things you might offend people on that you don't think is offensive, but if it's strangers, you gotta be hold people's hands with kid gloves when you first meet them, especially in a game like this where there's a lot of money on the line. Julie knows Jake buying. Julie knows Jake and Gasper would vote her and Lindsay out if need be. Um, but Tolu says Julie used to use her is used to using her feminine ways to get what she wants. Sorry, Tolu says Jake and Gasper would vote Lindsay and Julie out. And she also says Julie's using her feminine ways to get what she wants. Look, that's smart. That's a good strategy. If you stay out there flaunting that thing and popping that thing and dropping that thing, and it works, it works. That's not a bad strategy. It's called what they call it. They called it. There's a term for it. It's called what is the term? Politicking. That's what it is. Politicking. And she's doing it to the utmost. Well, I don't think she's trying to do it. It's just like naturally happened. But hey, it is what it is. Game recognized game, coach. Tolu, Winnie both bring Julie in to talk to her. And when Winnie asks Julie where her loyalty at is in the game. And basically, Tolu and Winnie are on a full frontal attack against Julie, pretty much demanding that she tell them what's going on. But her mind and what her mind is doing, and she basically needs to decide with them if she's with Tolu and Whitney or not. And Julie doesn't really give them that assurance that she is. And, Winnie says, look, if you don't side with us, I'm going home. Point blank and the period. Winnie says, Jake does not like you. He doesn't see anything outside of this house. And Julie, he is playing you to the full extent. He's playing you like Tetris. He's playing you like N64, coach. And you need to put down the sticks. And Jake does not care about you. These are strong. This is what I was talking about last episode. Look, it's just a little too much. Like, I know you passionate, you trying to get your point across. I understand it. We as brothers and sisters, we got to be transparent sometimes to get our point across, because if we don't, then sometimes our words can be misconstrued and whatnot. And so it's better to be point blank to the period than kind of just walk around and dance around what you mean. But everybody can't handle that. And you have been living with you guys have been living with Julie this long. You should kind of understand how she is receptive to certain things at this point. What she can take, what she can't, what kind of pushes her buttons, what doesn't. You're around each other 24/7. So I know, emotions are running high and you only have each other to kind of talk to, but you coming at her this strong is just going to push her further and further away. That's why, whenever I get upset with people, I just back off. Like, I'm just chill to myself, let things die down, get some time to think about things, and not just be so adamant on just coming in hardcore 100%, because that's not going to make anything better ultimately if you really want the situation to get better. If it was kind of just like, look, we about to go in a boxing match, say what you want, talk your hot shit, let's go get it and let's go down to it. If it was like the challenge and there's an elimination. But this is something where you need her on, so you can't just put her in this corner and expect her to just be like, okay, because she has nothing to lose voting against or with y'all. Period. She doesn't. This isn't a game where everyone has to be voted out. So if she just does that and say, no, I'm voting with them, that's not going to accomplish anything. We got to understand these situations, y'all. We got to understand this is a very delicate time for Winnie, especially, and she knows, if somebody doesn't get voted out, she's out. So maybe she should come to Julie. Should have came to Julie and like, look, like, I trust you 100%. We trust you, but we don't trust Lindsay. Let's get Lindsay out. We can do this together. Go get the boys. Tell them what we're doing this. They might be able to be convinced about Lindsay. That's the only other person. That's the only other person that they can be convinced on. And I think if Julie were to go up to Jake and Gasper and say, make up some white lies or something about Lindsay and say something, they could survive this. Tolu and Whitney could both survive this. You just can't make somebody give them an ultimatum on this. You gotta work with them and make them think like they're important too, not just you're using them to kind of get what you want. It's not a good strategy. So the strategic implementation is still at a low point in the game. And Tolu tells Julie if it's up to her and Brian with Jake, who would he pick? Who would she pick? And then she answers, why would I have to decide? So she kind of just like questioning their question. And that's when, Tolu just throws up her hands like, I can't, this isn't working. They're the same thing. They're just coming too strong. You guys got to just chill. I know y'all pissed off at her. I get it. Trust me. I mean, it's hard to put it down, but in certain situations like this where there's a lot of money on the line, you gotta sacrifice your like that pride. That pride has got to take a back seat, and it's not happening in this moment. But yeah, they get fed up at this point. She says that, and they're just like, "We're out of here, sister. Peace, deuces, and we'll see you on the other side." Tolu tells Julie that she destroyed the two friends that she had in this house. I mean, once again, self-sabotage, and it's not helping anyone in this case, especially not helping Winnie. But keep telling yourself, because what are you gonna do? Go to the boys and try and get them now? Then that's really not gonna work. There's not enough numbers left. There's just not enough, so we can't do that. Julie said Julie said she's only on when Winnie's good side, when she does what she wants her to do, and that's not love, that's control. It's Janet Jackson control, baby. I mean, actually, that's not Janet Jackson control. That's opposite, because Janet Jackson wanted the control of her life, not control of others. So it was mind control, essentially, what Julie is referencing. And I'm not down for the game either. We need to be free, And I understand where Tolu and Winnie are coming from, but you can't just come at somebody like that. And I don't blame Julie for saying, look, this ain't real. It's not real. And she wonders what is. Winnie, at, so soon Winnie comes up to Jake and Gasper and asks them who blew out her candle. She's still on this full frontal assault. She's like, look, I'm going to cause some chaos if I'm going to leave this house. Y'all going to remember my name. So what's up? And she's on her Hurricane Winnie right now. Hurricane Winnie is hitting the Dominican Republic and is not stopping. Yes, and Winnie asked them, are they playing the game on an emotional level or are they playing strategically? Look, y'all, I don't know about this strategy. I get it. You trying to like make your mark and go out with a bang, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. That's what seems like it is, because whatever they tell her, she's gonna come back with them. They say they're playing emotional. She's gonna be like, "Why? Of course you're playing emotional." Blah blah blah. And if they say they're playing strategically, she's gonna come at them again, saying, "Well, your strategy is dumb." No, there's no good answer in this. So I don't know why she's asking the question, because she's gonna get mad at either one. They don't really give her an answer, and she just gets fed up with it and leaves. I don't know what the goal was there. I don't know. I don't know what could have been accomplished, but definitely we saw that Jake and Gasper, they kind of knew what time it was, and they was just gonna end this quickly, not escalate the situation, decompress, because nothing benefits them after this. If they sit there and go tit for tat with Winnie, that's a very bad look, and then things could be twisted and turned back onto you guys. So smart to kind of just not do nothing there, and that'll make somebody else even more mad if you don't give them the reaction that you want. So smart on that. Smart on that. Tolu and Winnie soon are trying to figure out a plan to put the pressure on somebody else to get somebody else out the house, and that Julie's dead to them. So let's see how are we gonna do this. We need majority vote to get somebody else out besides Winnie. Currently, there's 8 people, 7 people left in the house. We have Tolu, Winnie, Jake, Gasper, Brian, Lindsay, and Julie. That's everybody left. Oh, no. And Jay. Sorry. Jay's left too. I forgot about Jay. We have 8 people left. You can't get the boys on your team because you just talked to them. That didn't work. 8 people. That's down to 3. That's down to 5. You already said Julie's dead to you. That's 4. You guys are already fighting with Lindsay. That's 3. You're already outnumbered. 5-3 wins. So you blew out your own candles in this sense, and the birthday's over. So I don't know what they're thinking at this point, if just them going on a tangent and a hurricane towards everyone worked, but they have 3 possible numbers in the house. Lindsay's definitely not siding with you because you guys are ostracizing and not talking to her. Well, not they're not ostracizing her yet to the point of no coming back. But it's seeming like because Lindsay's hanging out with the boys more. even that, it's a 4-4, and you need somebody to go home. Even if you do get Lindsay on your side, you need somebody to go home for you to stay in the house. It's a done deal. That's just the end of the road. Boys to men freestyle. Yeah. So soon they start saying Lindsay's been talking to the guys more too, and she's so comfortable with them. They don't know what to do. It's not looking peak. Winnie is so fixated on this candle, she just can't get over it. Like, I think this game is over. Like, just put it in the past, let it ride out, and just move on. But we cannot get past this candle. I'm like, dang, I didn't know candles was gonna cause this much stress and distress. It's I mean, all you gotta do is say, look, the candle didn't matter, guys. I'm okay. Just be friendly, and then they'll let them out. Come on, Winnie. Oh gosh, all because of a candle. Who would have thought? I love candles too. I might like. I should have lit a candle before this podcast, but hey, maybe next one. Winnie asked Brian whose candle he voted out, and he says no one. I didn't vote anyone's candle out. So when he finds out, she does her math. Oh, this person told me this, that person told me that, and that Lindsay blew my candle out. And she is shook right now because Lindsay told her earlier that she didn't. And they say that Lindsay has been playing them this whole time, Tolu and Winnie. They're wondering how they missed Lindsay switching sides. And Winnie basically says, respectfully and disrespectfully, fuck you. So now you guys are fully against Lindsay. So now you don't have the numbers. So you just said you needed the numbers. And now you're mad at the only other number that you could have had to tie things up. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. You can't. You got to let that slide. Just like you mad at her, she doesn't know that you guys know that she knows that you know this. So you gotta let this slide and get her back on your side, and then the next time flip her on the other side. Simple as that. But the emotions are taking over. Everyone pulls up to the dinner table, and there is a poker table, and they're going to do another test. And Brooke says this is a test to build back up the trust after it was broken down the other night. Another test that everyone can say, look, it doesn't matter what happens. We'll all be cool. Cool. She says this is going to test how forthcoming they are with each other. All the cards, everyone has, with all the cards, everyone has a stack of cards in front of them, and they're going to pick a card that they think best answers the question, and they're gonna put it face down anytime someone plays a card with their name up on it, and you get a chip. So, like, say this game works basically is like, oh, who do you think is the most friendly in the house? Everyone's gonna flip a card with the name on it, and that's the person. They get the chip. Self-explanatory, very simple game, but this game, look, they don't. Brooke doesn't give them like, oh, if you get the most chips, you win. She doesn't say if you get the most chips, you lose. Like, least chips, you lose. She doesn't say anything. So it's honestly not that big of a deal with people saying these things. Now, look, you don't want, if somebody thinks bad on you, yeah, that sucks. But is it gonna affect the game? Are you going into an elimination if you get the least chips? Are you voted out the house? Nothing happens. So I don't get why. If I got the least chips, I'd be like, that's fine, guys. Like, no big deal. But you can't go around stomping your feet mad because nobody gave you any chips. I wish I was in this game, yo. I'd be everybody's best friend all the time, chilling, smiling, happy. But hey, maybe they would have voted brother out because I would have wore shirts with buttons down on them. Who knows? We don't know. But yes, very simple game. And unlike poker, there's no risk in the game. They only can make money. And yes, they only can make money. Winnie says she's not picking Lindsay, Julie, and Jake, if anything, on any of the questions. So we get the first question. Who is the life of the party? Gasper gets the most votes on that one. Okay. They skip through, so they doing this game, they were like fast forwarding it, and they go through maybe like 30, 40 questions. We only get a handful of them, if that, And so, this game is like whatever. I think they wanted to probably show more of the questions, but they realized like, look, this game is pretty maniacal and monotonous, so we just gonna fast forward this part in the game, coach. Come on, we're gonna keep the tape rolling. But yes, we missed most of the questions, and I want to know what some of the questions were, if anybody had any hot reactions to any of them. And soon, Jake flips over a card saying that he trusts Lindsay the most. Jake probably did this. Not that he trusts Lindsay the most, because I don't think he trusts Lindsay the most. I just think he did. Jake seems like the type of dude where it's like, I'm just gonna pick anybody. Like it doesn't matter. I don't care. But uh, Jake's already seen, people are taking things way too personal with these little games, and it's not that deep. But at the same time, I mean, that's a strategy already. So I mean, I don't hate the strategy, but knowing these people know the strategy, I mean, they can't look. The target's not on you anymore. He sees that to an extent. Actually, the target's still on him. The target's still on him, but maybe if I was him, I would just pick Tolu and Winnie every time, just to not piss them off anymore, and pander to them. So, but yeah, he picks Whitney for that. Not Whitney, Lindsay for that, and everyone takes notice, especially Tolu and Winnie. Lindsay is trying to lay low that she's close with Brian, Gasper, and Jake, but her cover's being blown. She's like, "Oh, guys, don't say these good things about me. People are gonna notice." I mean, they got to pick somebody. What did Tolu and Winnie expect? Did they expect them to pick each other? Like, if they did, like, getting mad at little things again, getting mad at everything. I don't see it. And soon, yes, the game eventually is over, and we find out that Brian has the most chips. Everyone was cashing the chips in for an additional $25,000. So I think all the chips that everyone earned. So there's 25 questions, I believe. I believe. And every time everyone answered, I guess they put all the chips in. They just won free money. I don't think there was a stake in this game for them to lose. Maybe I missed something. No, because they didn't say. No, I didn't. I don't think I missed anything. Anyways, Jay had the fewest amount of chips. I believe she had like three. And when we find out the results, Brooke says, "Jay, you're coming to the vault with me." And I believe this is her first time in the vault. So let's see what Jay does. And soon after that, Lindsay walks into the bathroom and asked, "Hey, can I come talk to you guys?" to Tolu and Whitney. And they says, no, actually, you can't come in here because we're salty that you said that we weren't the most trustworthy and Jake and Gasper and Brian like you the most." And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all burning y'all numbers. Y'all burning y'all numbers. I don't understand the strategic implementation here. You can't just isolate yourselves against other people and then push other people out." She probably came to just talk to you and say, like, look, maybe she would have said, "Look, I didn't mean it. I don't know why they did that." Maybe she would have explained herself, but you guys didn't give her that opportunity. You kind of just shut it down before it even started. So, I don't know. Winnie and Tolu are definitely, they're isolating themselves at this moment, like I said. And Brooke soon, so we get back to the vault, and Brooke soon hands um, Jay the offer. And so Brooke hands Jay the offer, and she opens it up and reads it. But so this is the one I messed up on last episode. So this is the time where she gets to look at the offer, and then she gets to decide if she wants to take it or leave it. Unlike the other solo offers where they automatically, before they even got to look at it, they had to decide if they wanted to take it or leave it. So I don't know why they did that on this one. Maybe they switched it, but that was interesting. Very interesting. Maybe they wanted her to get up out of here. Who knows? But yes, it says the offer is $25,000 and the trust is yours to keep, but your time in the house is over. And she's like, "Yep, give me that." It wasn't even like 2 seconds she had to think about it. She just saw the $25,000. Yep, mine. I'm like, dang, that quick? I mean, you don't want to risk leaving with nothing, so I don't blame. If anything's over 20 grand at this point, just take it. Like, just take it. That's 20 grand. That can go a long way. I mean, it's not life-changing money per se, but it can definitely help take care of a lot of bills that you have or outstanding debt. And, set you on the right foot and the right path for 2024. They filmed this in 2023, and it's like, okay, we'll get them. The plus show's gonna air around January, and so we can start off the year with this extra 20 grand, 25 grand. Let's do it. I don't blame her. I just thought it was hilarious that she didn't even think about it. Um, I probably would have took the deal too. I ain't gonna lie. And yeah, Brooke asks, "What about your friendships in the house? Don't you think you'll miss it?" And Jay says, probably not, coach. This money is gonna last longer than the friendships. Let's be real." And she hightails it up out of there. But she is upset that Lindsay is with the guys, and she just has to swallow that pill. But she says she really wants $25,000 and she's ready to go home. She said, I had enough of this vacation. It was cool. It was nice. But look, I'm trying to get back to my home and chill and spend this money on something other than spending time with these people. So, look, I've never seen somebody be able to exit the game with this much money before and not win, not make it to the finals. This is a first, I think. And that's fortunate, you know. I mean, she walked out with 25K. That's not a bad payday. You came there and took care of things and got the bag and you out. So kudos to Jay on that. She played it. She had a little bump in the road in the middle. She was getting sussed out a little bit at the beginning, but she made it to the point where she's like, "Look, I can't risk it for the biscuit, so I'm just gonna kick it." Hasta la vista, Jay. It was wonderful seeing you play. I like that you brought a little drama and chaos into the house. It's always fun to have that little extra fruit thrown in there, and she definitely was throwing them. But she's out of here. And soon, Jay says there's only two friends that she really wants to win, and that's Winnie and Tolu, and they were the only ones that really had her back. It's facts. But you kind of isolate, you kind of, put the target on Jake, and then Jake's friends are going to side with him. And Julie, she was flip flopping. So I understand what she means by that. Brooke soon comes back to the table and tells the group that Jay was given an offer in the vault and she couldn't refuse it and she's leaving the game. Everyone's like, damn, I want to go into the vault. Now I bet y'all wish people wasn't picking y'all, giving y'all chips, huh? I bet y'all wish that. But y'all too worried about getting little chips and stroking y'all egos and making you feel good about yourselves other than just playing the game and not worrying about all that extra stuff and fluff. Goes to show you it's a life lesson, man. Don't seek approval and praise. Just let it come and happen, and good things will come to you. Jay didn't go around getting mad at people because they didn't give her chips and whatnot. She was chilling, and then look what she got: 25K. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. The average mentions be patient before they hurt you. Work to hard to be passing the perp too. New. I ain't gonna keep going, y'all. Soon we see that Tolu is upset also because that was their last number in the house, so now they ain't got no extra numbers. It's just Tolu and Winnie. Unfortunately, the optics of this don't look great. It's the two black chicks against the rest of the house, which is white. So that does, like I said before, it doesn't have much to do with the episode. It doesn't have anything to do with actually what's going on. If you actually have been paying attention, that's just how it worked out. Not the best. I don't like seeing that, but they did it to themselves. I'm sorry, they did, and they voted the only other brother out the house. So if they were looking at that, then they did it to themselves. So I'm not even upset at them. Soon, the two groups separate into discussing what each group had to do. So Tolu and Winnie go over here, and Jake, Brian, Gasper, Julie, and Lindsay go over there. Julie said she's struggling with voting Winnie out because she said she didn't want to vote anyone out. But you voted Simone out. But you voted her out. I mean, look. And didn't she vote Jewels out too? And didn't you vote Bryce out too? It's all right. Look, Julie, I understand you had your reasons for voting them out, but it's just it's ironic that you said that. Eh, I don't know, but it is what it is. Winnie said she's about to blow some stuff up and raise red flags before she gets up out of here. So she's like, look, let me finish this hurricane out and tear down some extra houses and trees on my way out the door. Brian apparently says he needs a lot of starch, and he just down in the starch, which is, I don't know if that's healthy for you or not, but slow down on the starch, Brian. I think you need to chill just a little bit. Tolu soon brings Brian to the side and apologizes the other night when she accused him of voting for Winnie. This is what you should have been doing from the get-go, just playing it cool and nice, and then you wouldn't have these targets and arrows pointed at you. But it might be too little too late at this point. Tolu said she's not making excuses, but she's giving her reasoning behind she acted out and lashed out, and it wasn't fair of her to speak to Brian the way she did, and he didn't deserve it. Yeah, that's good of her to do that. It's kind of like when she might not 100% think that she was in the wrong, but she did go out of her way to apologize, and this is the first time she steps to someone and does this. I think if she did this to Jake, she should do it to Jake and Gasper as well. Even if they said they voted for her, even if she did know they voted for her, she still has to say, hey, I'm sorry for coming at you crazy. I was just emotional. Then they might not be coming for Winnie. You're saving your friend too. Maybe she did and we didn't see it on camera, but I like the first part of the plan. Now you're using strategic implementation. Winnie said she's putting everyone on blast before she leaves. Winnie wants to blow up and tell Lindsay that's not the way to do it since they are the minority. Or Winnie wants to blow up, but Tolu tells her that's not the way to do it since they're the minority and they need to stick with a game plan to get people on their sides one way or one how. Some way, somehow. That's what I was saying earlier. You guys should have, if this used this plan earlier, y'all would have been good to go. But people already have this image in their minds of you, and it's really hard to get that to change. Like, you can't get that to change overnight. It's got something that has to be nurtured and built up, and then people will kind of alter what they're thinking. But the clock's about to strike midnight, and you ain't got your glass slipper on, Winnie. Uh-oh. Soon it's time for the voting ceremony. And, when Julie says once Winnie and Tolu are gone, the guys say that once Winnie and Tolu are gone, they'll be able to breathe the fresh air again. And at the table, it's quiet and nobody's talking. And Winnie says, anybody want to talk? And then she says, okay, I'll start out. And she just goes on a rampage style. If you know the game Rampage, she was tearing up the buildings, jumping on things, throwing them. Like, it was Rampage in a metaphorical term. Just look it up if you don't know. It's a classic. Winnie says that her plan is to put Winnie says that her plan is to put Lindsay on Front Street to expose her for being a snake. And Winnie says, look, I'm going to start things out and something that needs to be brought to everyone's attention. Uh-oh. Julie, she's the one, she's like, uh-oh, it's going to be me, y'all. Let me just hang tight, sit in my chair, put my seatbelt on, and we're going to go for this roller coaster ride. And because Winnie's about to expose me. But to her surprise, Winnie is somewhat praising Julie at the start and tells her that she always trusted her and she would never vote for her. And she stands 10 toes down on that. And Julie's like shocked, like, huh? You said Julie? Me? That's right. Uh-oh. This is where the table's turning, Adele style. Winnie says everyone should be loyal and trustworthy, even if one person hasn't been doing that. Everyone has been loyal and trustworthy, but one person has been doing that. And she tells everyone that Jake and Gasper told her that they blew out her candle and she appreciated that. But Lindsay says she did not. Winnie says Lindsay has been playing both sides, and she runs to the other group and gets information, and she runs that information back to the other group to tell them the information and vice versa. She says she's the biggest snake in there, but she played it very well. She said Lindsay had a single hand in everyone going home to this point, and she's exposing Whitney on everything. She's just throwing them darts at the dartboard, and it's just clock, 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 clock. And I'm just like, dang, like she's knocking her up like a freaking Floyd Mayweather fight. I'm just like, dang, Lindsay's taking these jabs. It's just like, oh. I mean, she's taking them pretty stoically, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I've never seen such a argument where one person just had nothing to come back from, didn't say anything. It's hefty. It is very hefty. And yeah, Lindsay has nothing to say. They said, that Winnie says Lindsay isn't playing the game so well, and she continues to throw the finishing touches on that little, Christmas tree. And she says, "You got anything to say, Lindsay?" Lindsay's like, "Nope." I'm like, wow, all that. I want to know how long the berating went on for, because apparently a lot of things was said that we didn't get to see. And they maybe said some real disrespectful things, according to Lindsay. So I want to know exactly what was said, Coach. Release the tapes. We're back on that one again. But yeah, it was getting crazy and hostile in there. And soon, Tolu tells Brooke that she lost Winnie in the house. It's time to vote now. And Tolu's the first one to go down there and cast her vote. Tolu tells Brooke that she lost Winnie. She lost Winnie in this house. If she lost Winnie in the house, she would truly feel alone. Maybe you shouldn't ostracize all your other friends. and voted him out or whatnot. But that's on you, sister girl. That's on you. So Tolu votes Lindsay. It's Lindsay's time to vote. Lindsay votes Winnie, of course. Winnie votes Lindsay out. Jake does not vote. Julie does not vote. We don't get Gasper's vote. And when it's Brian's turn to talk to Brooke, she gives him a card to the vault because he had the most poker chips. He's like, oh, so it benefited him to have the most. I was hoping it would because it's like, what is this game, you know? I mean, I kind of forgot about the game at this point, but because everyone was so fixated on these candles still. But yeah, he gets this chip and it's like, okay, it's go time. So it's time to see what Brian's gonna do for the third time. I think he's in the vault. Yeah, this is the third time. Wow, that's a record, I think. And the card is scaring Brian, and so he got the card because he got the most chips. And Brian says he has to vote, but we don't get his vote. We don't know, but knowing Brian, he probably didn't vote. Of course, I'm not. I wouldn't be shocked on that. And Brooke soon returns back and announces that someone is going home. And then it's a cliffhanger. Y'all, this episode had a lot going on in it, but it was kind of self-explanatory in itself. A lot of arguing, a lot of non-strategical implementation, and a lot of, guns blazing. I think that it's unfortunate that, my opinion, Winnie's probably going home. But I mean, they did it to themselves, They definitely, I don't think they played their cards completely right in this one. If you're trying to get people on your side, you got to pander and cater to them like Destiny's Child. And they didn't do that. And they got to live with that and face the music. Because people aren't going to feel sorry for them in this last minute. Because the thing is, when people go to this round table, they already have their minds made up. There's very few little things you could say at this round table to completely change somebody's mind. So same with Bryce. He should have been talking to people way before the round table instead of just there and think, oh, this is going to change their minds. No, you're going there. You already have an idea. You have a plan because you're talking to people what you're going to do. And you can't betray your friends saying you were going to do one thing and then did the other. That's even worse. So might be too little too late for our friend Winnie, but we shall find out in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us in this episode. Make sure to subscribe to the DeAndre Way. It's on and popping. And we will be back next time for the Trust episode 7. And then we finally have the finale to this series, y'all. Woo! We made it. We almost there. Just put on your seatbelts and hang on tight. Thank you for joining the DeAndre Way, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.